This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. In the last session, we were talking about these questions. Now let us talk about the remaining questions. Overall, how many are there? There is 43 and here 33. So what I'll do, the smaller ones let me explain first and then the other ones I'll explain slowly because for certain things to understand, I need to open SAP, I need to write example, which may take a little time. With that, we may not be able to complete more questions. Let us try to complete the simple ones, smaller ones quickly so that you will have a fair understanding on it. With that understanding, when I explain the other ones, where I need to open the screen, where I need to write the example scenario to make you understand, that we will take separately. Alright. So let me go through the remaining questions. Whatever is simple, straightforward, I'll explain it now. Whatever will take a little time, we will take it in the upcoming session. For example, have you worked on accrual engine? This we will take it up later on because this is a new functionality which is part of S4 HANA system. Accrual engine, you will be using it for different purposes, majority for the purchase order accrual or the normal month-end provisions and all. This we will see later on because you need to understand what is accrual. In simple words, when you're talking about accrual, you're talking about expense related to current month. Expense related to current month is not booked or income related to current month not booked or not realized. In short, in your basic accounting terminology, we call it as outstanding and prepaid. I hope everybody is aware of outstandings and prepaids, right? Yes, no? Everybody
Yes,
heard
sir.
outstandings and prepaid.
Yes.
These are
Yes, sir.
Yes.
basically related to outstandings. Accrual, you are going to use it basically for the expenses. For the incomes, we will be using a term called deferral. You are going to defer the revenue or the outstanding or accrue the expenses. This I'll make you understand in a separate session because you need to understand different fundamentals to understand this accrual engine in SAP S4 HANA system. Next one, did you prepare FS? For this, also we need to understand some example. Meanwhile, what I want you to do is, since I've already shared functional specification format, refer the functional specification format. What details are there? Because people, when they're asking you about, did you prepare any FS functional specification? Two things that you'll have to check. Point number one, what details are updated in functional specification? Though the format is the same, for every RISEF object, for report, for enhancement, for workflow, for interfaces, for conversion, for smart form, based on the RISEF object, information that you are going to update will differ. Based on the RISEF object, information that you are going to update will differ. These points you'll have to understand in a proper manner with simple example. And after that, whatever the example that you're taking, whether it is related to report, posting, conversion, smart form, whatever it is, workflow, based on that, you'll have to look at whether you're talking from a GL point of view, AP point of view, AR point of view, asset point of view, tax point of view, or multiple modules included in it. Some reports or some enhancements are included in which cross-functional functionalities affected, meaning FI is also part of it, MM is also part of it, SD is also part of it. When cross-functional things are included, what will be your contribution there? To what extent you have developed or you have given logic in the FS? These points you need to understand. But before going there, understand the format of a functional specification thoroughly. You already have the standard FS functionality or the standard FS format, which is provided by SAP. Okay, that you refer through here. Next one, recently have you prepared any customized report? Here also I have to show you SAP screen report, make you understand what is the standard report, how do you customize it. When you're talking about customized report, remember they're not talking about existing report changes. Existing report change is nothing but enhancement. Customized report is nothing but a new report development. It is nothing but a new report development. In short, new report transaction code is created. If the report transaction code is remaining the same, it is not called as a new report. It is called as a existing report customization. It is called as existing report customization. This customization is represented as enhancement. This customization is represented as enhancement. You should know the difference between report enhancement and report customization. Report customization is a complete new report wherein new transaction code will be created. Report enhancement is existing report. No new transaction will be created. In the existing report transaction, you are adding additional functionality or you're adding any logic changes to make sure that the issues or bugs, whatever are there, are rectified. This also we will see later on. What logic you have given to ABAPer in that particular scenario? It seems to be the continuation question, not a separate question. It seems to be the same question, not the different question. The question might be, recently have you worked on any customization report? If yes, what was the logic given to the technical consultant or ABAP? Here again you need to understand what report are we talking about. GL report, customer report, vendor report, bank report, cash report, asset report, tax report, or cost center report, profit center report, internal order report, any other report. Unless and until you are not sure which report it is, you cannot talk in a generic way. When you are getting a questions like this in your interview, it is crystal clear, pinpoint to a particular report that you have worked, not at all a generic one. If you are talking about GL report, tell any report. The objective is to see how you are explaining the report, how you are explaining the functionality, what is your level of understanding. Whether you really worked on it or you have not worked on it, nobody cares. At the end, they want to look at your confidence level. They want to check your understanding capability on a customization or how we will interact with the technical team in any project. So here, if you're talking about, yes, I worked on it, you will tell everything, but you will never tell what is the report. Everywhere we will talk, yes, I talked about report, we did this, we did that. What is that report? Is it GL, customer, vendor, and all? When you specifically pick a report, for example, vendor master report, customer master report, vendor payment report, customer payment report, or bank payment report, cost center report, profit center report, asset master data list, or asset capitalization report, GL master data report, GL change report, anything it can be. But whatever the report you are picking, please make sure you are able to explain it. Before you explain it to somebody, take a pen paper or take an Excel sheet, write down which report are you talking about. First of all, what do you know about report? What reports you have seen in standard? There are so many reports: GL, cost center, profit center, internal order, customer, vendor, asset, cash bank. There are various reports. Which report you want to talk about? And what reports are available in standard SAP? And which report you are going to talk about in your interview. When you are not knowing about these fundamental points, you will not be able to talk in your interview. Because in the interview, whatever the point that you will tell, they'll put a counter question. Whatever you tell, you'll get a counter question. Unless you are clear, unless you are sure about what you are going to talk, you will not be able to handle those cross questions or counter questions. Just like that, you cannot prepare these points. You should know the standard functionality. Why you went for a customization when there is already an existing report? You need to understand what information is available in the existing report, what is the business requirement, why you had to go for a customization, right? Why you could not convince your client to use SAP standard, why you had to take it up as a rise up object, which gap or what gap you have identified, what was the business impact if you don't give that functionality or if you don't do that enhancement. These points people will tell just to see what is your level of understanding on the client interaction. When we say your level of understanding on client interaction, basically you will be receiving all these points from your client or from your user. Your user, when they're raising these points, you should know how to convince your user to use the existing functionality or to use the standard functionality provided by SAP. User will ask everything. He will tell, if I click it, this should happen. If I click this, that should happen. This data should come here. That data should come here. But as a consultant, you should know whether that is possible or not possible. Your client may be under an impression that anything is possible in SAP. You or I also may be under an impression that anything is possible in SAP, but that is not correct. That is not correct. Not everything is possible in SAP. There are certain things which are possible, but they're very complex. They're very tricky, they're very difficult, and this involves a lot of effort to be put in from the functional point of view and from the technical point of view. This may attract the cost from the client. When we say this may attract cost from the client, they have to pay for it. All the efforts that you are putting in, your technical team is putting in, they have to pay for it. If your client is not ready to pay, your requirement will go on hold. They say that at this moment it is not required. We will see later on. At this moment it is not required. We will see later on. That is how most of the requirements, even though they come as very urgent, this is required and all, will go for work in progress, or they'll go for on hold status because of commercial. When I say because of commercial, client will have to pay for it. They say, no, we don't want it now. They will tell their users stating that no, this is not going to be available at this moment. We will add it, or we will budget it for next year. We will get it developed. We will get it enabled for next year. At this year, we are not going to do it. Please manage with the standard report. Wherever possible, you can do a manual intervention. That's it. But you need to know that, okay, not everything is possible. Your client is telling, I want this. You will do it. It's not going to happen in any project. But you should know that, okay, this is how projects will work. This is how you are going to inform to your user client. When you are aware of it, you will be confident enough to talk to your user. Else, you feel that user is telling, we need to do the customization with the help of ABAP. Anything is possible. Wrong understanding. That is straightforward wrong understanding. Please do not be under that impression. Okay. Next one, did you open IDOC or interfaces? This also we will see separately because it takes time for us to understand what is IDOC, what is interfaces. Next one, while doing a configuration, how many ledgers you used? This is something that you need to understand because this is something that is known to everybody. When you're talking about any configuration, how many ledgers you have used, you need to understand whether your project is related to SAP ECC or SAP S4HANA system. Once you're talking about SAP ECC project, you know that in ECC, you have only two ledger, leading ledger, non-leading ledger. You need to tell according to your client. When we say according to your client, you cannot just like that say that we used two ledger, one leading ledger, one non-leading ledger, or you cannot just like that say we have used three ledger, one leading ledger, two non-leading ledger. Okay, but you will immediately receive a cross question. Why did you use two ledger? What was the purpose? What was the necessity? Then you may have to tell what is your leading ledger, whether you created a leading ledger or it is already available in SAP. Similarly, what is the non-leading ledger, whether you created the non-leading ledger or it is already available in SAP. Now, why you had to create two ledger? What is the purpose? What was the business need? What was the business requirement? You need to know that yes, ledgers are created based on the reporting requirement. Reporting is based on the accounting principle or accounting standard. You need to tell your client is related to which country. Is it your Indian client? Is it your Europe client or US client, Singapore client, or what client it is? Accordingly, you need to tell, I worked for an Indian client. According to India, my client was using local reporting as per Indian accounting standard, and my client is a global player, or my client is a global organization. They were present in multiple other countries. For their consolidation purpose, they were using IFRS accounting principle. When you mentioned that yes, they are using Indian accounting standard for the local reporting, IFRS for their global reporting or for their consolidation, you need to mention which ledger you have mapped for which accounting principle. All these points you have to quote, only then your answer will hold weightage, otherwise it will not hold any weightage. Answer is not leading ledger, non-leading ledger, or leading ledger, non-leading ledger, underlying ledger, extension ledger, representative ledger. That is not the answer for it. The answer is you are explaining the answer with ledger along with the reporting requirement with the help of accounting standard, accounting principle. You know that without accounting standard, without accounting principle, no company will perform the reporting. To do their local reporting in India or in US, if in India they need to follow Indian accounting standard, If in US, they have to follow US GAAP. If a client is operating in both India and US, they need to follow local reporting as per IAS for India, as per US GAAP for US, and for their group reporting, for their corporate reporting, for their consolidation purpose, they may have to use IFRS. You have to tell we were using leading ledger for group reporting purpose, or we were using leading ledger for the consolidation purpose. For consolidation, we were using IFRS. For IFRS, we mapped leading ledger 0L. For the local reporting purpose, which is country specific, we have created or we have adopted one non-leading ledger called NL. You can put anything. Simply you can put NL, non-leading ledger. This non-leading ledger is used for country specific reporting requirement, in short, local reporting. You need to tell for all the company codes we have created single non-leading ledger, and at the company code level we have assigned accounting principle. If these points and all you are not talking, your answer will not hold weightage. Meaning, question is a simple, question is a straightforward. The way you are answering, the way you are talking matters there. That's where people will come to know whether you have proper knowledge, proper understanding or not. If you do not have the thorough understanding, proper knowledge, what you will end up telling? You will end up telling leading ledger, non-leading ledger, representative ledger, extension ledger, whatever the ledgers that you find on Google or in any content that you see, you will end up talking about it and you will end up giving the descriptions or definitions for it, which is not going to be the answer. Alright, that is not the answer. You need to talk about reporting, accounting principle, how many you have used. One ledger or two ledger or three ledger. That is what you need to talk here when it comes to ledgers. After that, how many currencies you have used. This is also known to you. Currencies you are all aware. One currency is mandatory. Currencies you are all aware. One currency is mandatory. That is your company code currency. Because the moment you create a company code, for company code you need to create a currency called company code currency, which is also represented as local currency. This local currency or company code currency, which is mandatory for every company code, this will become your currency number one. Okay, and if your client or if your company is operating only in India, if your company is operating only in India, you can tell you have used only one currency. For example, I am working for a client who is operating only in India. They do not have any operations anywhere else. It's a company who is doing a business only in India and they do not have any operations in any other country. All their reporting will be taken care or will be taken place only for INR purpose. Then you can tell in my client I have used only one currency, which is INR. Or in my company I have used only one currency, which is a dollar, which is SGD, GBP, whatever it is, provided your client is not a global company, your client is working only in single country. This is also possible, but majoritarily this is an exception case. When we say this is an exception case, what we are going to represent here, some companies are there who are operating only in one country. They don't do any operations anywhere else. In certain situation, single currency will be used. On the other side, what will happen, which is most common scenario, we will be using two currencies. One is your local currency, another one is your group currency. Local currency will be used for local reporting in the respective country where your operations are carried out. Another one is your group currency. Group currency is used for group reporting, which is nothing but consolidation or corporate reporting. For consolidating multiple legal entities, for consolidating multiple company codes, for consolidating multiple countries' business operation, you need to take a common currency. Common currency is always determined as a US dollar. In any country or in any project, in any organization, you will be using US dollar as a common currency. This common currency is nothing but group currency in SAP. Now this group currency will be dollar. These are the two currencies which are mandatory in every project. Almost in every project, these two are mandatory currencies. Local currency, group currency. Other than this, at country level, you can use another currency, which is nothing but your index based currency or your hard currency. Other than local, other than group, you can use another currency called either index based currency or hard currency. This is used for country specific reporting. For example, In India, I want to have a separate reporting in a different currency. This requirement is only for India country. For India country, since I have a different reporting requirement, I can use either an indexed based currency or a hard currency. Similarly for Europe country. In Europe, there are so many countries. Now all the Europe continent countries, they may have to report in Euro also. Or all the US based countries, they may have to represent in some other country. What you are going to do, you are going to create one more additional currency which is applicable only for a particular country. These are basically represented as hard currency or index based currency. These are created at country level. These are created at country level. Other than these three or these three, currency number 10, currency number 30, currency number 40 or 50. In short, index based currency or hard currency. These three are possible currencies which we will be representing at a company code level. Other than these three currencies, you have additional 7 currencies that can be defined in S4HANA system. Other than these three, you can define additional 7 currencies. Meaning, even from the currency number 3, we will be adding it as freely definable currencies. These freely definable currencies can be used for any reporting purpose at a specific country or at a specific company code level. But on an average, you have to tell 2 currencies. Standard answer that you should give is 2 currencies. Don't talk about 3 currency. Don't talk about 1 currency. Strictly talk about 2 currencies. One for local reporting in the respective country. One for group reporting at corporate level or at a global level for performing the consolidation. Now you'll have to tell your client was using 2 accounting principle. Again, you'll have to bring accounting principle into picture. Again, you have to bring accounting principle, leading, non-leading ledger into picture. Only those will add justification for your answer. You are telling the currencies, but you are not adding accounting principle. You are not adding leading, non-leading ledger. Will not hold weightage again. Many things will have interconnection with other topic, other points which you have to include while talking to your interviewer. Only then the other person will feel that yes, this candidate is aware of what is what in SAP FICO. Otherwise, they feel this candidate only aware of basic definition, basic configuration, basic fundamental. You have to talk beyond that. When I say you need to talk beyond that, that is where your experience will come into picture. That is where your understanding will be recognized, or the other person feels that yes, he or she has got good understanding. And it is your responsibility to create that impact in the interview to the other person. They will not know, they will not realize what you're capable of unless and until you perform. Sorry, one sec. Okay, this is about your currencies. You'll have to talk 2 currencies, local currency and then group currency. Next one, reporting done on both the currencies or only one currency. This is again same connecting point. This is again same connecting point. Every organization or every legal entity, every company code, if they are operating in multiple countries, they will have to perform the reporting in both the currencies or in multiple currency. Reason, for example, you take any organization who is operating in India. Take any organization who is operating in India. In India, they are operating. In India, they are operating as per Indian accounting standard. The same company is operating in various other countries as per a common accounting standard called IFRS. Now, what they have to do, that particular company or that particular legal entity, they'll have to prepare 2 reports. Now, when you're talking about reports, you are basically talking about trial balance, P&L, balance sheet. Again, when it comes to reports, you have to include the points related to trial balance, P&L, balance sheet. Tell that your client will have to generate the trial balance according to Indian accounting standard. Your client will also have to generate the trial balance according to IFRS. Then you'll have to tell all the reports related to Indian accounting standard are generated using local currency INR. All the trial balances or all the reports, whatever you are generating as per Indian accounting standard or as per non-leading ledger, will be generated using local currency or currency type 10 which is your company code currency. In your example, since your client is Indian client, they were using INR. On the other side, your client will also have to present your books of accounts to the corporate for the consolidation purpose. For this purpose, your client will have to pull the report or pull the trial balance according to IFRS accounting standard. According to IFRS standard, they have to pull the report in dollar, which is currency type 30. As per IFRS, reporting will be pulled. In short, your trial balance will be prepared as per US dollar currency type 30. These points again you'll have to quote. If you are missing these points, other person will have, as I said, a different point of understanding. Meaning you're not supposed to talk only the definition, meaning of it. Try to elaborate it, try to explain with an example wherever possible. Simple examples only. Nobody will expect you to tell in detailed, crystal clear explanation. They just want to see to what extent you're able to talk. Whether you're talking only the definition, meaning, T code and all, or you're able to relate it with an example, with a business process, with a business scenario. If you're able to talk with a business process, business scenario, whoever is taking your interview will have a very good opinion. They will shortlist you. If those key points are missing and you are able to explain everything with the help of definition, T code and all, tables and all, the other person may feel that yes, this candidate is aware, but I think he or she do not have any real-time experience or any practical experience because you are not able to relate anything with any of the past experience that you have worked with. That is the reason you should always relate. In my previous project, we have used, or in my current project, this is how we have used. In my previous project, this is how we have used. You don't need to put any client name there. Just tell in my previous assignment, in my previous project, in my current assignment, in my current project, this is how we have used. Our client was using like this. Nobody will ask what is your client name. Nobody is going to put those questions. They just want to see what is your level of understanding, how you are trying to convince me. And if you are able to prove it with simple example, you don't need to give any complicated example. The whole objective is to see what is your understanding, what is your knowledge on these areas. To see your knowledge, to see your understanding, I don't need definition. I need an example. I need a scenario, how you are putting it, how you are trying to convince me. Because tomorrow, when I put you in a project, when I want you to work in my project under me, not every time I will be part of the meeting. When I say not every time I will be part of the meeting, there may be a situation, there may be many cases wherein we may have to talk to the client user. I know that I'm not going to talk to the client user every time. I want somebody who can manage. I want somebody who can talk to the client, who can understand what the user is talking, what the user is explaining. I am going to check all these points while asking these kind of questions. If your understanding, if your level of understanding knowledge is only towards definition, is only towards configuration, that is not going to help for you to talk to a business user, to talk to a client. So I am thinking, though you know the definition, though you know the configuration, I am not okay because you are not able to convince me. You are not able to talk at a level with which I can feel that yes, this candidate can manage. If you are able to give that confidence to me in the interview, I am okay with you. Not only me, anybody is okay. And for you to give that confidence, for you to get that opinion, you need to talk at a different level. When I say you need to talk at a different level, questions are very simple. Answer is also very simple, provided you are trying to explain them with an example. Don't think that the other person does not know anything about it. He or she is going to know only when you talk. You will talk definition, you will talk T code to a person who does not know anything about SAP FICO. For example, I do not know anything about SAP FICO. I ask you what is ledger, then you can give me the definition. I am learning SAP FICO. I ask you what is a ledger, then you can tell me the T code. Go to FINSC underscore ledger, you will see the ledger. You can tell this to a person who is trying to learn, who is trying to understand SAP FICO, but not to a person who is trying to judge your knowledge. Your answer, your explanation is the measure base for gauging your knowledge, gauging your subject, your concept. There, if you are giving the definition, you are giving the T code, you are getting under rating or underrated mark. Don't get underrated marks because of your definition, because of your config. Try to talk beyond that. Okay, this is basically your reporting. You'll have to again bring leading ledger, non-leading ledger, accounting principle, TB, P&L, balance sheet. If these points are missing, whatever you talk will not hold the weightage. According to you, you may feel that yes, ledgers are only two, currencies are only two. According to you, it is correct. According to an interviewer, according to a real-time consultant, whoever is working, according to a person who is working in a project as a client user, is not correct. Meaning, whatever we feel is correct, actually that may not be correct. You are correct from your perspective, but my expectation is different. If you are not able to meet my expectation, if your answer is convincing enough for me, I am not okay. I feel that this candidate is aware of the thing, but only from the theoretical point of view. He or she is lacking practical knowledge, practical experience. Because of that, I am rejecting. In the feedback, people will clearly write, candidate has got good knowledge, but candidate does not have real-time experience. Or candidate is good at configuration, but he or she is lacking real-time knowledge or real-time experience. Practical knowledge, practical experience is missing. As a result, candidate is rejected. Because as a panel member, whoever is taking the interview, if they are rejecting, upfront they cannot tell rejected. If I am taking your interview, I am not supposed to say you are rejected straight away without giving justification. I'm not supposed to say this candidate is rejected. Nobody will accept it. I need to give the reason why rejected. Unless the candidate is very poor. When I say sometimes what will happen, the person who is talking in the interview will not be able to talk anything. They'll not be able to talk anything. In that case, you can tell that candidate does not have proper experience. Certain interviews or such candidates interview will get closed within 10-15 minutes. It will not be prolonged. They know that, okay, this candidate doesn't have anything, but wherever interview goes for 30 minutes, I am asking you different questions. You are giving answer for everything. Now the HR is also part of the interview. Your interview is getting recorded. Now your HR might ask, candidate answered all the questions, why you're rejecting? Sometimes HR will ask, candidate had given answer for everything, why are you rejecting? Literally HRs will ask sometime, why are you rejecting this candidate when he is answering everything? Then I need to write justification that candidate does not have practical knowledge or logical understanding is missing. Only configuration is known to the customer or the candidate. Candidate has experience only in SAP, ECC. Candidate had not worked on implementation project. These are all the reasons that they tell that the candidate is rejected, or candidate is not confident, communication is weak, not having a convincing skill set. These kind of things they will put. When you select a candidate, again we have to write the reason why the candidate is selected, what are the plus points in the candidate with which I have selected. What is my observation? He is good at business process understanding, he is having good domain knowledge. All these points will be added. That is the reason in the second round they will not ask mostly no technical questions. In the second round, mostly there are no technical questions, because the first round one, whoever took your interview, they will put the comment there. They'll write the comment. Accordingly, the second round person, whoever is taking your level 2 or managerial round, they will go through it. Then they'll ask only the different questions just to check your understanding knowledge. They will shortlist. Here, your explanation, wherever possible, try to give with an example. Try to bring accounting, try to bring different scenarios. Then only you will get positive opinion, positive feedback. You may be wrong. You need not be 100% correct, but at least if you're trying to put an effort, your effort people will see to what extent you are trying to give an effort. They know that this candidate is trying to explain me because he is aware of it. Those candidates will definitely get selected in the interviews. Okay, this is about this. And then the next one, what T codes to move the TR from development to quality. This is not from TRM. This is not from TRM. Ignore these points. Okay, whatever is there in column C, you please ignore it, or let me hide it. So you may get confused with this. Let me hide it. This is not required. What is the T code to move the TR to development to quality? One question. Same TR will move to production. Okay, these two are same questions. Basically, it is the same. Whenever you are talking about any TR, all your TRs are moved with the help of import export concept. Your TRs are moved with the help of import export concept when it comes to quality or when it comes to production. In the development, there is no import export concept. Let me put a line here. TR movement. Point number one, development to development. Point number two, development to QoS and production. This is your client copy. This is your export and import concept. Development to development is client copy. When you're talking about client copy, what we represent here is, here we will not release the TR. Point number one, here you are not going to release the TR. We will just copy the TR from development client 100 to development client 120 or client 200, whatever it is. As per your system landscape, whatever is the client number for your development configuration, for the development unit testing, accordingly you'll have to tell from development 100 to 120 or from development 100 to 200. You are going to do a client copy. You are copying a TR from one client to another client. As you are all aware, as per system landscape, in the development system, you are going to have three landscape or three server. Development configuration client used by the FICO consultant, development another client which will be used by ABAP consultant or the technical consultant for writing the code modification, ABAP programming. Another client is used by the functional consultant for performing the unit testing. Now, as a FICO consultant, you will be working on two clients. One is client related to configuration, another one client related to unit testing. Now, you are going to copy the configuration from client 100 to client 120 without doing any TR import, without doing any TR export, without releasing any TR. This process is called as client copy. This client copy, you are going to use it with SCC1. This client copy is used with SCC1. Now here in development 100, no action required. In development 120, as per our example, open T code SCC1, put the main TR number and then execute an test run. If test run is successful, remove test run and then execute again. Okay, if test run is successful, remove the test run, execute it again. Now when you do it again, all the configuration is copied. This is called as copy. You're not releasing, you're not exporting, you're not importing, you're just copying the configuration because it is within the development client. Okay, all the configuration is copied from, as per our example, client 100 to client 120. This is what is going to happen there. Though you're answering a T code, but they are more focused on what process you're talking about. Though your answer is correct, SEC1 we have used, they still want you to explain in an elaborated way. Why they want you to explain in an elaborated way? If you really work, if you really know how TR is moved, you will talk all this point. Otherwise, you will talk only SEC1. We used SEC1, it copied from configuration client to testing a client. Okay, but how you did it? What was the T code that you used it? In which server you used SEC1? Somebody will put questions at this level also. You used SEC1 from development 100 or development 120. If you tell I used development 120, did you release the TR in development 100 to copy the config to development 120? If you tell yes, you're gone. Meaning for this, in the development 100, no action required. Meaning TR is not released. To copy the configuration from development 100 to development 120, no action from the configuration client, in short development 100. What you will do, you will go to development 120 or development 200 as per your system landscape, whatever you are going to explain. In 120, you will open SEC1, put the main TR number and then execute as a test run first. If the test run is successful, there are no error messages, remove the test run, execute again. When you do it, all the configuration is automatically copied, not exported. This is copy. Because your T code itself is SEC1 client copy. This is what you'll have to talk here. Other than this, whatever you talk is invalid. When I say other than this,
What is
whatever you talk
POC?
is invalid. When I say other than this, whatever you talk is invalid, it is nothing but the other person is not convinced. When we say it is invalid, the other person is not convinced because your explanation is not including valid points that I feel okay, I am convinced. If they are not convinced, whatever you tell, your T code is correct, your process, everything is correct, but not in a convincing way. Since you are not able to talk in a convincing way, I am assuming that you have learnt it from somewhere, or you read it somewhere, or somebody told you. Likewise, I am getting an opinion. Because of that, I am feeling that this is the basic fundamental thing. This is the basic fundamental thing. As you are not able to explain me the basic fundamental point related to how a TR is moved, I feel that whatever the knowledge that you are holding from SAP FICO is invalid. Just because you are unable to answer this in a convincing way. Simple questions, if you are unable to answer properly, whatever the complicated questions you are able to answer will not hold the value. Because this is very basic fundamental. If you are unable to talk confidently on these areas, no matter how expertly you talk on the other areas, still you will get rejected. Sometimes we will not understand why we got rejected, even though I answered everything correctly. Some kind of silly mistakes you would have done somewhere. Some kind of silly mistake you would have done somewhere. Because of that, you have been given a feedback which is not in your favor. This is about your development to development, which is your client copy. On the other side, there is one more point. Development to quality and production. This is not a client copy. This is based on import export concept. Here there are 2 points.
Then what is POC?
After this, I'll tell what is TOC. Okay. One second.
Okay.
1 minute. I think my Excel is stuck. Okay. Now here there are 2 points. When you're talking about development to quality and production, first thing let me talk from the development to quality. Development 100, quality let's say 100, production let's say 100. I'm talking about client number. Usually if it is a single client, client number will be 100 only. Wherever it is a single client, most probably client number is 100 only. In our example, we are taking client number 100. Tomorrow when somebody is asking, you can also mention client number 100. If possible, you can put client number 100. To be more specific, to be more confident, to be more comfortable. If you feel no, I am getting confused, you can remove the number, tell in the development, in the quality, in the production. But when you're talking about development, please make sure development strictly you mention development 100. Quality, if you don't mention 100 to 200, it is okay. Production, even if you don't mention client number, it is okay. But it is not okay if you don't mention client number for development. Now here we need to release the subtask first, and then release the main task. Here we need to use, here we need to release the subtask first and then main task next. This is your point number 1. Point number 2, I think my Excel is getting stuck. Just a second. Okay. Point number 2, use T code SE01 or SE09. Anything is okay. You can tell I have used SE01 or I have used SE09. Anything is okay. But you will be using SE01 T code or SE09 T code to release a TR, and select modifiable requests only. Select modifiable request only. If you are not mentioning this, again there is a point of misunderstanding. When I'm talking about point of misunderstanding, your interviewer might think that he is probably not worked or he is probably read somewhere or trained somewhere. Wherever you want to, wherever the points are very simple, fundamental things, try to add more accurate answer. Because if you go to SE01, if you go to SE09, there are 2 points. Let me quickly log into SAP. Something is wrong with my laptop, I think. You are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see your desktop now.
Yeah, desktop.
I think it might need one more round of reboot, I believe.
Okay. Let me log into the system now. As I said, we have to use SE01. Go to SE01. If you go to SE01, there are few points here. Point number 1, customizing request. Point number 2, workbench request. Point number 3, transport of copies. This is nothing but a TOC. When you're talking about a TOC, it is nothing but transport of copy. When you're talking about a TOC, transport of copy, your original TR will still be in the development. Your original TR will still be in the development. This TOC will be a copy of your original TR. Whatever the configuration that you did in your original TR will get copied to another TR called TOC, transport of copies. This TR you can release it to quality to do a testing. In some situation, what will happen, because of different reason, you may not be able to perform proper testing or the actual testing in development, as the proper test case is not available or the data is missing. You are unable to replicate it. Usually why we do it is, there may be an issue which is coming in production system. According to that, you have done some modification. According to that, you did some correction, but you wanted to check if it is working fine or not. In the development system, you cannot do it because certain test cases cannot be created in development system. Certain test cases you cannot create in development system because those are available only in the production system. So what you will do in that situation, usually there is a system copy or there is a data copy. When you are copying a system, when you are copying the data from system, You are representing copying data from production system to quality system. You will be refreshing the quality system with live production data on maybe monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, or on half yearly basis. Let's say your client is using production copy into the quality system once in every 3 months. What will happen once in every 3 months? Your basis consultant will run a production copy. All the data, whatever is there in the production system, will be updated in the quality system. All the data, whatever is there in production system, will be updated in quality system. Now what will happen? You will have the live data of production in quality, which is not available in development. In that situation, when you're not sure whether your configuration, whether your technical changes, whatever your ABAPer had created, are going to work or not, you're not sure. And if you release a TR to the quality system, if it is not working as expected, you need to move one more TR. To avoid this, what we will do, you will use a concept called TOC, transport of copy. When you create a transport of copy, what it will do, it will make a copy of your configuration, your changes into another TR, which is called as TOC. This TOC, when you release it to quality system, all your changes will reflect in the quality system. You can do the testing. You can do the testing there. Whatever the changes that you notice, that you identify, if it is not working, additional changes are required. In the development, you will make additional configuration. You'll ensure that, okay, this was the problem, I fixed this problem. You can move another TOC there. TOC cannot go to production. TOC life is still quality only. TOC cannot go to production. TOC will be moved until quality only. This is like a temporary transport that you are making to do the testing in the quality system, wherein you cannot perform testing in development. Only in exception cases you are going to use a TOC, not in every situation. Tomorrow when somebody is asking what is TOC and all, don't tell we will simply copy the TR from the original TR to another copy TR called TOC. We will move it to quality. They'll immediately put, why did you do it? You'll have to have valid justification to it. Else, don't tell that you have used TOC concept. You have tell in your project you have not used TOC, or at least tell I have not used TOC concept. Okay. In short, you will be working majoritarily on the two things only: customizing request, workbench request. On this customizing request, on this workbench request, you have two statuses. One is modifiable, another one is released. One is modifiable, another one is released. When it comes to modifiable, this is grayed out. When it's modifiable, this is grayed out because it is already available in the development system. But when it comes to released, you have a drop down here. Meaning whatever the TR that you have used, you can use this option to filter out the data. When I'm talking about use this option to filter out the data, let's say I moved a TR to production yesterday, I moved a TR to quality yesterday, but I forgot which TR I moved yesterday. What I can do, I can select released, I can select since yesterday, I can select from last 2 days or 2 weeks or from last 4 weeks. If I leave it blank, it will display everything. Okay. This point I will do it, or I can do it with the help of a user. I can put any user ID to see their transport request. This is point number 1. You can release the TR like this. To do it, click on modifiable and then click on display. When you click on display, it will display the list of TRs that are currently open in your user ID. Let me click on display. Okay. Now you can see two TRs here. This is your workbench request. If you can collapse it, this is your customizing request. You have workbench request, which are basically related to client dependent or program related dependent. Whatever is your functionality, configuration related dependent, they are all customizing request. If you open the customizing request, you will find the modifiable request. This is the request. Now every TR that you are creating will have two components. One is main TR, another one is sub TR, or main task, sub task, or parent TR, child TR. People will be using different terminology. At the end, everything is the same. Whatever the TR number that you see is always called as main task, main TR, or parent TR. If you expand this, you will find one more number. It is always the next number. If it is 15 here, inside it will be 16. If this is 15, inside that will be 16. If I want to move the changes to quality system, what I need to do, I need to first release the parent TR. Sorry, I need to first release the child TR or subtask or sub TR. Select this sub TR number. Click on this sub TR number. You need to click on this icon called transport. On the top, you will find transport icon or a truck icon. Okay, if you click on this release directly, the subtask will be released to main task, meaning whatever is there inside the TR number 16 will be updated in TR number 15. Then you'll have to select 15 and then release it. 2 times you have to click on release. People might put a question, when you release a TR from development, do you release it 1 time or 2 times? Sometimes people might put a question, when you're releasing a TR from the development, do you release it 1 time or 2 times? You may be thinking twice and then think that no, we will release only 1 time. Then you're gone. Why 1 time is not correct? 1 time you're releasing child task. Second time you're releasing parent task. In short, first time you're releasing the sub task. Second time you're releasing the main task. Only then TR is released. Once you do child task release, parent task release, then your TR is released. Once TR is released from your side, your task is completed. Once these two are completed from your side, your task is completed. This is what you are going to do here. Go to modifiable, release the subtask first and then release the main task. Your task is over. Now when it comes to quality, most likely even if somebody is asking, please tell that in your project, your basis consultant is releasing the TR. Don't tell you're releasing the TR. Whoever is asking, do not mention you're releasing the TR to avoid unnecessary questions. Tell that your basis guy was using or was releasing the TR based on your email confirmation. You will send an email to the basis consultant along with the TR number. Whenever you are giving a TR number to the basis consultant, you are always going to provide the main task because main task automatically contains the subtask. Reason, here you are first releasing the subtask and then releasing the main task. Main task is released along with the subtask. That is why subtask is first, main task is next. Once it is done, when you are on the quality system, you in the sense when your basis guy is on the quality system. Now here this is called as export. Here this is called as export. This process is called as export in development. Now in quality, what your basis consultant will do is, I am clearly writing basis consultant will go to QoS system and T code is equal to stms underscore import. T code is stms underscore import. He will put transaction code stms underscore import and this T code will display all TRs whichever is released in development 100. This stms underscore import will display all the TRs whatever is released in the development 100. Meaning if I go to stms underscore import, let's go to SAP. If I open another window, stms underscore import, enter. Okay, this may not work here because the setup is not available here. Okay, this is the screen. Basically it looks like it is the same screen even in quality system, even in production system, in any real environment. This is the T code. This, if you see the heading import Q, this is the heading called import Q, T code stms underscore import. Now whatever the TR which is released in the development system, will be updated here in the sequential order. It will be updated in the sequential order. What your basis consultant will do, to the basis consultant you would have given TR number. To the basis consultant you would have given TR number. Point number 1, he can scroll down, find the TR number. It will come in the sequence. It will be at the bottom. He will find from the bottom, or he can simply do find here. Control F. He can do find or control F. Your TR number, control C, control V, enter. It will highlight your TR number. He will select your TR number. Currently I do not have anything. He'll select your TR number. Same thing, you will have the import request. Same thing, you will have the import request. Your basis guy is not releasing the TR. Your basis guy is importing the TR. He'll click on import request. When he clicks on import request, this will give a pop-up. He will select import, replace any originals and all. He will select 2-3 radio checkboxes there. He will click on release. Then the data, whatever is there in your development system, will get copied. Meaning data from the transport request, whatever you had in the development, will be imported in your quality system. And then he will tell the TR is released. Somebody will have to go on mute, please. rsync, please go on mute. Okay, once it is done, the TR will be imported in quality system. Once it is imported, you will receive an email confirmation from your basis consultant. Dear FICO consultant, TR has been imported to quality. He will not tell TR is released. He is not going to tell TR is released. Instead, he will tell TR is imported to quality. Once you get the confirmation from basis that the TR is imported to quality, you need to make sure. rsync, can you please go on mute? Okay. Once you receive an email confirmation from the basis consultant stating, Dear FICO consultant or Dear your name, TR has been imported to quality. First thing that you should do is, you'll have to open a new screen. Meaning this activity you will perform in the quality system from your side. You will go to SE16N. You will go to SE16N. Here you'll have to put a table called E070. Go to SE16N, put E070, whatever the TR number, main TR number or main task you have given to the basis consultant, that TR number you need to put this here. That TR number you need to put this here, meaning this is the TR number in our example. Main task, what is main task? 15 is the main task. This is the TR number. Put this in the table. Go to SE16N, E070 table, and in the request task you have to update it. Let's go to SE16N table. Let's go here. You're able to see my table SE16N? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Put this TR number here and you need to click on execute. You need to put the TR number, click on execute. If the TR is imported to quality system, in the quality system, when you go to E070, when you put this TR number, when you run the table, it will show the record here. It will show the record here. If your TR is not imported to quality, in the quality system, this record will not appear. Your table will tell no data found. It will not appear. How you are going to verify if your TR is released or not released? Copy the main task number, go to quality system, put TR number in E070 table, execute. If you get it, your TR is released to quality. If not, it is not released. Now once TR is released here, it will take some time to update the data. Releasing the TR is one task and updating the tables is another task. You find this TR here in quality system, may not immediately update all the table because you have done various configuration here. To update all the configuration in the respective table, it may take a little time, maybe few minutes it might take. Don't do immediately testing in quality. The moment you find a TR in the table, Next thing what you need to do is go and look at the respective configuration, either through the T code or through the respective configuration table. Check if your configuration entries are reflecting or not. Sometimes they will take a little time to get updated, not immediately. Once this is done, you are good to go with the quality testing called UAT or user acceptance testing. Based on this, once your UAT is completed, what you will do, you need to move the TR to production system. To move the TR to production system, no action required from your side. Whatever the action you need to take, you have already taken. What action you have taken? You have taken an action called releasing the TR in the development. That is the only point one from your side. Later on, releasing it to quality, releasing it to production is basis consultant activity with the import logic. What basis consultant did in the quality system? He came to quality system, he imported here. Once it is imported here, when you send an email confirmation to the basis, UAT is completed. After attaching all the supporting documentation, business approval, UAT confirmation, your project manager approval, all the other necessary documentation. When you send another email, dear basis consultant, please move the TR to the production. What basis consultant will do? He will log into production system. Basis consultant will log into production system. In the production system, again he will go to the same T code, same process as it is 100% repeated in production system. He will go to production system, stms underscore import. Again he will click on refresh here. He'll click on refresh. When he is clicking on refresh, what system will do? It will show all the TRs, whatever is released from development, whatever is imported in quality, it will show a list. Now again he will do Control F, find your TR number, select your TR, click on import. Click on import. It will be imported. Again he will send a confirmation. Dear FICO consultant, TR has been imported to production system. TR has been imported to production system. Once you get the confirmation, same thing. Again you will go to table called E070. Again you go to a table called E070, put your TR number, click on execute, make sure the TR number is appearing. After this, as we discussed, it takes a little time to update all the database records. All your configurations to get updated, it may take few minutes time. Wait for some time or go to the respective screen, T code wherever you did the change in the production system. Make sure your setting is copied, your setting is reflected. Sometimes it will not reflect immediately. Don't be panicked. It takes a little time sometimes, which is quite common in any project. Okay, don't be scared that my TR is released, but my settings are not there. To copy the setting, it takes a little time. And once your settings are copied, only then inform your user to check in production. Don't immediately inform. You also don't immediately verify. Make sure your setting is copied or not. Then you do it. At that moment, your things, whatever you have configured, will work properly. Now here, same logic. Here, what you are going to do, you are going to import. This is not export. This is called as import. You are going to import here. And even in production system, same logic. This is also import. This is the point that you'll have to do it. Your basis guy will go to PRD system here, T code stms underscore import. This T code will display all the TRs whichever is released in development 100. Because in quality there is nothing called release. You will import in quality, you will import in production. So there is no point coming from quality. The moment your TR is released in development, it is ready to be imported in quality system, in production system. As a logic, as a sequence, after importing in quality only, you should import in production, not bypassing the quality. So that is why you should always tell, you will release the TR in development, you will import the TR in quality, you will perform the UAT in quality, then you will import the TR in production system. Don't tell straight away after development, directly it will go to production, or after releasing in quality, it will go to production. TR will go to quality, TR will go to production from development, not from quality to production. It is development to quality, development to production based on import export logic. Export from development one time, import in quality, import in production in the sequential order strictly. Okay, this is what basically we follow when it comes to production movement TR. It is the same process. It is the same process.
One question in that, Ajay. So you said from the production or from the quality, there's no release function, right? So
Yeah.
whatever we test in the QA and we found the bug, so we have to, in that case, we fix it in the development, and then again, we release the code. I mean, the release the TR to the quality again to test, right? In the same process.
If a TR is released from development 100, okay, it is no longer possible to reuse it. Okay, once a TR is released from development, it is no longer possible to reuse it. In case any corrections are required, we need to create another new TR. Okay, once a TR is released from development, it is no longer reusable. You'll have to create one more TR. Then for your functionality of config whatsoever, instead of having a single TR, you may be having two TRs. Wherever there are more than one TR, there is something called TR sequence. When we are talking about TR sequence, first TR to be moved, second TR to be moved. This is sequence you need to tell. When we say this is sequence you need to tell, accordingly your basis consultant will release the TR to quality and then to the production. If you don't mention anything, your basis consultant may release randomly, which may cause inconsistency in the quality, inconsistency in the production. Wherever you have more than one TR of any configuration, of any process, of any functionality, it is your responsibility to give the TR in sequence. Okay. All right.
Sir, can you note down? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, can you note down the documents as well? Like, what are the documents required during like TR movement from development to quality and quality to production?
Documentation required for TR movement. Point number one, development to QoS. Not mandatory to have any documentation at this stage. This is not mandatory. If you have, it is okay. Even though you do not have any documentation, it is still okay. Meaning, even though you do not have any documentation, your TR can still be moved from development to quality. But as I said, this is not mandatory, meaning it is optional. You also can have the documentation. If you have a documentation, it is nothing but your config and then UT document, user manual. These are the three things. Config document, UT document, user manual is required in case if you wanted to move from development to quality with documentation. Point number two, development to PRD. I'm not talking about development to quality to production. It is always development to production. Here, documentation is mandatory. In this case, documentation is mandatory. You will be having config document, unit testing, UAT document, user manual if required, and business approval, project manager approval. These are sufficient. Okay, along with the email chain, whatever you have. When you're talking about business approval, you're talking about the email that you received to configure this functionality, UAT confirmation provided by the user, whoever said that this functionality is tested, it is working fine, and your client manager approval. For example, if I am a user, I have done the testing. I said, yes, dear Pico consultant, I have done the user acceptance testing, or I have tested, I have checked in quality system, everything is working fine. Please move to production. My confirmation is not a valid approval. My confirmation is called as UAT confirmation. Based on my UAT confirmation, you have to take client approval. Client approval means my reporting manager internally in my organization, there may be a reporting manager. Their approval I need to obtain, or you need to obtain. Once they approve it, then only you can attach it. And with that, you'll have to take your project manager approval. Based on your project manager approval, your basis consultant will move the TR. Now, while moving any TR to production system, your basis consultant will verify if this documentation is there or not. Majoritarily, your basis guy is not supposed to move, or is not going to move any TR to production if project manager approval is missing. If client approval is missing, he will not move it. If other documentation is missing, it is okay. As an exception, you say that this is very urgent. We will prepare the documentation later on, but this is to be moved to the production immediately. There are certain things which will have to be moved without any documentation, based on the urgency, based on the priority. Not mandatory, but approvals are mandatory. Without approval, you are not supposed to move anything. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir, in case of rev track system, how does it move?
In case of,
Rev track.
what is it?
There is something rev track system where it moving all the transports, all the TRs
It
will move
is
via rev track.
it is the same process, same logic, in the sequence only.
Okay, because I see that they once we release the TR, how it is moving in rev track, I don't understand. So just I thought to know.
No, it is the same thing.
Okay, I mean it's a auto releasing, right, sir? It's not like
Yeah.
manually will be doing.
No,
Okay.
usually what will happen in some project, TR movement will not happen on a daily basis. Some projects, what they
Right.
will do, they will have a scheduled TR movement. Let's say every Monday there will be a TR movement, or every Wednesday there will be a TR movement, or every Friday there will be a TR movement. Usually, we always avoid moving any TR to production on month end, unless it is very urgent. You're not supposed to move any TR to production on a month end basis if it is not a showstopper, if it is not very critical. Reason? Because of your TR, whatever is moved to the production on a month end, it may create unnecessary complications, problems. Agree?
Right. Right.
You are complicating further errors, you are inviting further errors, issues to be raised by the user because of the TR that you moved to production. That is why, if it is really required, you have to move it to the production on a month end, else you will wait until the month end to get closed. That is one point.
Okay.
Second point, if it is a scheduled TR movement, you know that every Wednesday there is a TR movement. You did your configuration today. Today is what? Monday. Today is Monday.
Right. Bundle.
Now you're not
Bundle movement.
yeah, right.
Okay.
And you're not supposed to ask your basis consultant to move this TR today itself unless it is very urgent. There should be a business justification why this cannot go to production on Wednesday, why this has to go today, what is the impact. You'll have to write a justification. Don't tell Wednesday I am on leave, please move it today. Not going to happen. Tomorrow I am leaving early from the office, please move it today. Not going to happen. You need to have a business justification. Only then it will be moved to production before the scheduled time. Else it will go to the production system on the scheduled time. In case if your TR has got no dependency, there is a dependency, there is non-dependency. You are aware of what is dependency, non-dependency, right?
Right.
For example, you did a configuration. Let's say, I think it's 8 o'clock, you're running late. For example, let's say BRS process. Okay, you have done BRS process setup. For this, I have utilized, there is BRS process setup. Let's say I have used one more process, asset accounting. These two I have configured. Let's assume. These two functionalities are configured. And for this, I have TR number 1, I have TR number 2, I have TR number 3. I have 3 TRs here. I have 3 TRs here. And when it comes to asset accounting, let me say that in the asset accounting, I have a single TR. In asset accounting, I have a single TR. For BRS, I have 3 TR. Now, wherever you have a single TR, there is no dependency. Agree?
Right.
It is a single TR. There is no dependency. It can go at any time. It's okay. I'm least bothered about it. You move at any time. I'm okay. All I want to see is this TR is in production. But when it comes to a process where you have configured in multiple TR for a business process, for a functionality, you need to know which TR will have to go first. According to you, TR number 2 may go sequence 1. This may be sequence 2. And this may be sequence 3. And in this situation, sequence 1, sequence 2, sequence 3, is it in the order or it is in non-sequential order?
Non-sequential order.
This is non-sequential order. If you are not communicating to the basis consultant, what he will do, it is a normal process. He will select 3, he will click on release. What SAP will do, whenever you display anything in SAP, it is always sorted based on the ascending order. Agree? 1, 2, 3 it will show. So by default, what we'll do, TR number will go first, TR number 2 will go first, 3 will go first. But as per your configuration, 2 should go first, 1 should go next, 3 should go next. Agree?
Right.
If this is not going in this sequence, all the configuration will come to the target system, either quality or production, but your settings are not in sequence. Nothing will work properly as expected because some settings are overwritten, some settings are removed.
Right.
Right, that will happen. In this situation, you need to send a separate email to the basis consultant. Please move these TRs in the below sequence. Then what basis consultant will do, before releasing all these TRs at one go, he will first release TRs whatever have been provided with a special instruction. For this functionality, these 3 TRs are having a separate instruction, sequence 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Right? He will first release 1 and then he will release 2, he will release 3. Likewise, whatever the emails that he received from the different functional consultant or from the different technical consultant, please move these TRs in the below sequence. After the TR sequencing email activity is completed, remaining TRs, whatever is completed, he will select all, he will click on release. He will not even care whether it is a sequence, non-sequence, because there is no instruction. Agree?
Agree.
Right? These points you'll have to remember. Other than that, nothing else required. If you know these points, beyond this, there is nothing you will get to know in a project. This is at very high level. Beyond this, there is nothing that will come in your queue if you are working in any project. If you know these fundamental points, no way you will get confused. No way you will be confused at any stage in any project.
Okay, clear, sir.
Okay. All right, fine then. Let me stop this here. Remaining questions we will discuss in the tomorrow's session. All right. Good night.